Live, local, late breaking. This is Newswatch 12 this morning.
Good morning. The time is 6:30 on October 17th. Happy Friday. Welcome to Newswatch 12 this morning. I'm Carlos Murrieta. We're taking a live look out at Gold Beach from Jerry's Rogue Jets. We first want to turn over to Storm Tracker 12 Chief Meteorologist Matt Hoffman to see how your Friday is going to shape up.
Well, the clouds from overnight will be rolling on out and we'll see plenty of sunshine for this afternoon. Warmer temperatures, fairly seasonal for this time of the year, climbing into the lower 70s in Medford and Grants Pass, up to 71 degrees in Wairika, 67 in Klamath Falls, and 70 for high in Brookings with some breezy conditions. Friday night football this evening, the forecast looking beautiful. No worries for rain. Temperatures falling through the lower 60s for the games going on in the Rogue Valley. It'll be a little bit chillier in the basin for the games there. Temperatures slipping into the 40s by halftime. And then take a look at this. This was from earlier this week in Coos Bay. Comet Lemon, and with the clear conditions that we're going to see this evening and tonight, you're going to have a chance to see this comet, and it's going to get brighter as we go through October 21st as it makes its closest pass by Earth. So you just got to look to the northwest sky after sunset, about an hour after sunset, and look to the southwest of the Big Dipper. So if you take any photos, we'd love to see them. Weather at KDRB.com. Some beautiful weather on the way for Saturday. Looks great for the SOU game Saturday afternoon. Mostly sunny, fairly warm temperatures. A full look at your weekend forecast, and we'll also talk precipitation potential for Sunday with this next storm system coming up.
In an update this morning, the future of downtown Medford could soon look very different as city officials and developers continue to lay out plans for the Creekside Quarter project. Newswatch 12's Daryl Green has been following this project closely as he attended last night's meeting.
Medford residents filled every seat at the Creekside Quarter panel to gain more knowledge and find answers regarding the $500 million project. Panelists stressed the importance of the transient lodge tax, a measure on the November 4th special election ballot, which will fund essential developments within the project.
We are not going to change if we don't get this through. We're going to have things just the way they are.
Another panelist, Eli Matthews, cited Rogue X as a thriving community complex funded by the transient lodge tax.
Rogue X, it's obviously new. We changed the TLT, very similar to what we're trying to do now back in 2020 vote in the May election. And that helped raise the TLT from 9% to 11%.
Despite the panel's presentation of the project and emphasis on the measure's potential benefits, citizens still have concerns about the project.
Why is this being prioritized over a jail or other infrastructure improvements?
There's two answers to that. First answer is this is not being prioritized over those other things. We cannot go and get our visitors from Portland or California and collect that TLT dollar and then put it into a jail.
Several businesses are located within the project plan. What happens to them?
The city is not overtaking anyone's land and making it something that we want to be, right? The whole concept is the private developers working with the people that already own the buildings.
The city of Medford is continuing to promote Measure 15238, and an important decision for Medford citizens hangs in the balance. Reporting in Medford, I'm Daryl Green.
Moving on to developing news, the Trump administration is cutting more than $40 million in federal motor safety funding from California. The DOT says the state failed to enforce federal English proficiency rules for commercial truck drivers. Secretary Sean Duffy warned California months ago, saying it had 30 days to comply or lose funding. Governor Newsom's office pushed back, saying state truck drivers have lower crash rates than the national average. The funding cuts impact safety inspections, enforcement, and public outreach.
There's a path forward, I believe.
Yes or no?
It has to include reforms. And can I guarantee an outcome? No.
The American people are facing one of the most devastating crises they have faced in terms of cost, and we still have not heard crickets out of any negotiation with Johnson or with Thune.
As the government shutdown continues, nearly 750,000 workers have been furloughed and another 4,000 have been laid off. The Trump administration is now threatening to double the amount of firings. And this morning, the frustrations are growing from leaders on both sides of the political aisle after a vote to reopen the government failed for a 10th time. The major sticking point, extending tax credits for the Affordable Care Act. Travelers in near the Moon Complex fire area should plan ahead, as Forest System Road 3300 or Agnes Road will be closed today for critical repairs. A damaged culvert at milepost 46.2 will be closed for about 19 days. A bypass road is open, adding an hour each way, and drivers are being urged to drive slowly, as firefighters will also use that road. Replacement is essential to prevent road failure and sediment from entering streams that supply powers with drinking water. And moving into a crime alert, Jackson County Sheriff's Office arrested 4 drivers for suspected DUI Saturday night. The Sheriff's Office says 2 of the drivers' cars were stuck in ditches. 1 driver was reported by other drivers, and 1 had been previously warned to not drive. A look at these individual cases can be found on KDRV.com. The Sheriff's Office asks anyone who suspects a driver might be impaired should call 911 and to report that driver. But moving on, Medford Police Department took part in a nationwide effort to tackle outstanding domestic violence warrants. Local law enforcement and victim advocates assisted in the operation, which resulted in 12 arrests in Jackson County. They attempted 48 warrant services and followed up on 21 no-contact orders. Police say this operation highlights the continuing issue of domestic violence and the need to hold offenders accountable. New this morning, starting in January, California will sell its own low-cost insulin as the state is breaking new ground in the fight against high drug prices. The drug will be made through a partnership with Cervica, RX, and Biocon Biologics. Governor Newsom is also working on bulk purchasing asthma medication, and he has also floated the idea of using CalRx to produce or stockpile abortion medication. Governor Gavin Newsom explained how much patients stand to save.
We will be the first state to provide this not subsidized insulin, but lower cost insulin available to anyone and everyone at pharmacies and direct mail pharmacies all throughout the state of California.
Insulin pens will be available at a recommended price of $11 per pen or a maximum of $55 for a 5-pack. According to state documents from 2023, the proposed program could save many patients between $2,000 to $4,000 a year. And moving into a school watch, the Bonanza Junior-Senior High School has been expanding their agriculture program for the past few years, and now we're seeing some new additions. The school farm now also includes sheep, chickens, and more, and these students are now learning to manage a chicken flock, prepare and sell farm fresh eggs, in addition to caring for sheep and operating farm equipment. Now, not only does this expansion help teach students farm-to-table practices, but also the fundamentals of small business management. And 3 faculty members from Oregon Tech traveled to the Caribbean to bring specialized training in vascular ultrasounds. The team used both webinars and on-site training to help standardize ultrasounds practice across 5 island hospitals. More than 200 attendees participated in the webinars, with several getting in-depth and hands-on training with the team. It's the first vascular team from Oregon Tech to travel to the Caribbean. And today, more than 15 Medford restaurants will be partaking in the first ever Forks and Friends event. The event celebrates Downtown Medford Week, highlighting local restaurants, regional farms, and harvest-inspired specials. 17 restaurants are taking part, including Common Block, Buttercloud Bakery, Over Easy, and Caba Empanadas. The goal is to bring more people downtown and support small local businesses. You can find a full list of participating restaurants and special menus on our website. And with Halloween right around the corner, several venues are setting up for their spooky events, including a ski area right here in Southern Oregon. After a successful first year, a haunting of Mount Ashland is back starting today. There will be a trick-or-treating trail in the evening for the little kids. Then things will get a little bit more frightening at night as visitors ride chairlifts and take on a haunted trail. Mount Ashland Ski Area General Manager says after selling out during its first year, they tripled their capacity this year, and most of the sessions are already sold out. With the high attendance expected, the ski area is looking for volunteers.
Scare actors we definitely are looking for, and then anyone else who just wants to volunteer. And if you do volunteer, you actually get to do the experience as well for free. So those booked sold out sessions, you could actually experience the trail just by volunteering for a little bit.
There are no age restrictions on the festivities, but Mount Ashland says discretion is strongly advised for children under the age of 13. For more information or to snag some tickets, head on over to our website. And looking ahead, the Siskiyou County Fallen Heroes Memorial is about to be honored in a special way this weekend. On Saturday, community members will gather at the Weed Airport for the dedication ceremony of the new Fallen Heroes Memorial. The monument recognizes brave men and women from the armed forces, law enforcement, and fire agencies who lost their lives in service. The ceremony will begin at 10 a.m. And there are just 9 days left to donate new or gently used coats to any one of our more than 50 donation locations. All you have to do is drop a coat into one of our red donation barrels, and then we'll clean and help distribute them to local kids in need. Even if you don't have a coat to donate, you can still make a monetary donation for a brand new coat on our website at kdrv.com. And once again, we just want to say thank you so much for making this campaign a success every single year.